Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your quarter two, whatever this is, April through June of 2023. We're just going to do something a little bit different, actually. I'm going to pull 5 rows, and each row is just going to represent something that you could be dealing with, or like a major theme over the next quarter. And that'll be that. So you start off here, and for your first thing, you have this card that says, you have special gifts. It says, never surrender to the normal. And then you have this legacy card. It says, your work will be praised down to future generations. So those two cards are very similar. I would say that it is time for you to like earn something from a gift that you have, or from something that you have been working on. I do also get specifically that if you've been working on like trying to get a raise or a promotion, if you've been working on trying to create something new in your life, then I feel that's like what's going on here, is you could be building a legacy. I immediately here, Cancer, I think the only thing that could kind of like mess you up at this time is going to be like a past person. Here you have this false person card. It actually looks pretty good as far as love is concerned if you want love, but what I would say is, even if you don't, you could still be dealing with a past person who is kind of like just a liar. So I would be careful of that. I am also getting here, Cancer, that you could be meeting a new person, and I feel like they have a past person, right? And I would be very careful of your new person's past person. I want to make sure to be clear on that, because that's like a little bit of a tongue twister, but it's definitely popping into my head. It's like such an amazing love reading, right? Let's just pretend that we were just looking at this, right? And not this right here. It would actually be a very positive love reading, but I do feel like a past person, if you meet someone new this quarter, that a past person could be kind of like messing things up, or could potentially mess things up. So again, if you want love, I would be careful of like, if like you have a past person sliding into your DM saying, oh, they're this, they could be lying, and they could be just trying to ruin something that could be really good for you. So again, I would just go to your person, not listen to some old bozo who just slips into your DMs being like, oh, they're a cheater, they're this, they're that. They will probably explain everything. So there you go. In this first row, again, you have these special gifts. I feel that everybody seems to be in this type of energy right here, where we could be disappointed about something like the way things used to be, which is these 3 cups right here. But if he turns around, he sees these 2 cups in this bridge in the castle. So he gets more than just those 2 cups. And I actually feel like there's something much like better coming in for you, especially in work or business, but I feel like you have to see it first. And I know that's an obvious message, but that's really kind of like what I'm getting there, is something very obvious. I feel like it's something that will make you more kind of independent, and I also feel like it's something that you can do all day long. So if you are looking for an improvement in your career, if you're looking for a better job or business, I kind of feel that there's something coming in for you that's much more enjoyable. I feel like there's something coming in for you that's much more, it's like much more clear to you, and I feel like it's something that you could focus on basically all day long. So for those of you that are looking for a career change, work change, business change, just looking around here, really good energy for abundance. I mean, you have the Empress, 6 of Wands, which can be a card of getting a raise or a promotion. 3 of Pentacles, another amazing work card, because it's a card of quality work. But I feel like there's something here with this card about your focus, and something that you could do all day long. And so if you're sitting there and you're saying, I can't do my job all day long, I can't stand it, then I feel it is time for you to look for something else, because it seems to me like there's something, just the energy I get off this first row is something much more enjoyable, something that you're actually going to want to do. So, a lot of you could be making that type of change. Again, I have a very strong feeling that everyone's going to have the Tower. Pisces already have the Tower. So like I've said a billion times, we're going to see a lot of Tower moments over the next few years. Doesn't really surprise me. I also do feel that for some of you, this could be just a pleasant surprise. I mean, if we look at this reading, we have the Sun, which makes the whole entire reading more positive. Ace of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. It's like someone finding you attractive. If we go this way, I mean, it's like true love. So I feel like there could be like true love coming in for you. Definitely could be a Scorpio here, or a Taurus is kind of standing out to me, but it could be any sign, general reading. And so there could be love coming in for you, but it could just be a little bit of a surprise. For your next row, for your next thing, you have this compass card. It says divine guidance on it. Yeah. Well, the thing is that you have the sun, and that's why I'm laughing, because the sun to me is very obvious. The sun represents obvious energy, meaning the sun usually shines a light on something that we are meant to be doing in life. And sometimes I think when something is like too obvious, then it's like we don't pay attention to it because it's almost like it's too obvious, right? So I kind of feel that this row here is saying that you need to pay attention to something that could be obvious. Like it could be almost too obvious where it just makes too much sense, it could be, and I do feel for a lot of you, this is something that you're working on or something that you're hoping to create in work or business. But I feel like that's exactly what you need to pay attention to. Just to give you an example, like when I started this channel, I had another business that I was running, another one, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do, the other business, right? But the funny thing is like from the beginning, basically, the tarot channel, this channel was doing much better. It was like just things weren't perfect, but it's like if I put work into the channel, things would start moving forward. The other thing didn't work at all, period, right? So it's like, it's like it wasn't obvious to me at the time. Now it's obvious. Now that I've pulled my head out of my butt, right? It's very obvious, but it wasn't at the time. So, I would pay attention with this card to the things that just are working, the things that lead to like more joy, more happiness, less stress. Like, this is an amazing row. But I feel like you also need to pay attention. And again, like I said, it's not obvious because at that time like that, the other thing I was doing was causing stress, sleepless nights, everything. This was a breeze, right? But again, I think that's part of the thing that made it too obvious is that it was easy, right? Easy. I obviously you're gonna have to put the work in, but it was relatively easy. Let's put it that way. And so maybe that's why my brain was like, oh, it can't be this. It can't be this easy. It can't be this, right? So don't fall into that trap. You have the Ten of Cups here. Definitely a good love reading if you want love. Like I said, Ten of Cups is happy home, happy family. Could be a person that you could be meeting a person that you have a family with. I would be careful of a past person or their past person, like I already said. But I love the Ten of Cups. This could also be you, like, again, sometimes I think that we think we can't have something that makes us happy in our life. Like, again, if you want to breed unicorns for the rest of your life, you might be saying that would make me happy, but it's impossible. But the Ten of Cups basically says, how can you make it possible? Your impossible dream. Can you just follow your happiness and use it to create abundance, right? It's like, maybe you can't breed unicorns, but it's like maybe you could create some sort of toy that becomes like the next Furby or something like that. And before you know it, you're a billionaire because you invented like the unicorn version of the Furby. I'm sure it probably already exists, but I'm just giving you some examples here, Cancer, right? So put your thinking cap on. It's like, maybe you can't do exactly what you want, which is exactly what that is Pluto and Aquarius, which is what we have right now. It's like maybe you can't breed unicorns, but maybe you could create some sort of unicorn Furby that breeds, right? That creates little baby unicorn Furbies. I don't know, right? Come up with a crazy idea. Because we also have Neptune and Pisces until 2026, and I always say, if there was ever a crazy-ass time where you could come up with a crazy idea like that and it would actually work, it would be right now. So now's the time to create all this abundance from your crazy ideas, Cancer. I also feel that you are very attractive at this time, so if you want love, I would be getting out there with that card. Again, the sun to me sometimes is like a spotlight, it just shines a light on something that we are meant to be doing in life. But again, sometimes it's too obvious. The other thing that I would say is that I feel like you've been through it in life with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a very good card, but he has been to war, and now he's on his way back from war. He's being celebrated, but war is a terrible place to be. So it looks to me like some of you have been through it, which again, sometimes I think that can prevent us from getting started on something new in the first place, whether it's like new love, new business, whatever, because we're thinking about the past fears. So I do feel this is saying like, hey, there's a lot of happiness in front of you, but you have to let go of these like Six of Wands issues. I would also say that, kind of teamwork makes the dream work right now, and especially for you. So I would be, working on a team or looking for a team to work with in general. Next, you have this false person card and this despair card. Like I said, I feel like you could be meeting a new person, but it's like their person is more focused, is like in this mode. So I would be careful of, that's definitely popping into my head, right? I would be careful of a past person's person. because, they could be causing some issues here. That's definitely what I see. I also feel that this could be a fear. If that's not your story, like again, if you don't have that happening, I feel like there could be some fears that someone is not telling the truth. But here's the thing, Cancer, or again, that could be something you just fear in relationships in general. But going this way, we have the truth right here. The other thing is you have the Two of Cups. And on the Two of Cups, these two people are meant to look very different. I kind of feel like saying for the first time in a long time, you're attracting someone who is different. And again, I can't get away from this energy in your reading where it's almost as if, I'm not saying your mind is playing tricks on you, but I'm just saying that, I think sometimes when we go through something, our mind kind of plays tricks on us. It like says, oh, this person's going to cheat because they're doing this, that, and the other thing. And I feel like the Two of Cups sometimes says, like, number one, trust your intuition. Number two, communicate with this person and also realize that they are different. Again, these two people on the Two of Cups are meant to look different on purpose. They're meant to look like two totally different people. And so I feel like you could be attracting a very different person. But again, there could be some things where you think to yourself like, oh, they're just like the last one, or, like some of those fears could be the thing that is preventing this from really moving forward. And I get that here. But you have the Six of Wands. Again, he has been to war, meaning that he has learned like what to look out for in battle, right? So I feel this is saying you kind of need to trust yourself and realize that you have learned what you needed to learn to be successful. And that's okay. So, I feel like some of you really need to like trust yourself with this Six of Wands energy. I do feel like there is a lot of like success coming in for you. I also have the word small rewards popping into my head. Here's the thing, Cancer. It's kind of a weird message. It just like popped into my head as I was looking at this Six of Wands cards. It's like one of those things where I feel like you could be like getting tiny little rewards. And it's almost like saying, it's almost like the universe is trying to leave a trail of, gumdrops to something very big for you here. So I kind of feel like you're going to have to follow the trail of, of inspiration, happiness, like whatever these gumdrops in your life are. I don't know. It's like a magical reading here, Cancer, right? But I feel like you need to follow those rewards. Again, I don't really have any good examples other than this channel. It's like, again, it's like when I was working on this channel, things were working. There were plenty of gumdrops. There were a lot of subscribers. There were, nice comments and like all those things. So, you know what I'm saying here, Cancer? You probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but what I would say is I would, follow the gumdrops, plain and simple. You have the Ace of Cups. Definitely could be a love offer coming in for you. And after, some sort of disappointment, right? I really feel that the more you can step into your Empress energy, and it doesn't matter what gender you are, I feel like the Empress is just saying you have a lot to offer a situation. Love, business, doesn't even have to be love. Like I said, it could be like a business situation. The Empress, she doesn't, she's just kind of like sitting there, and she has that scepter, and she waves that scepter. That's what grows the wheat in front of her. And so she doesn't have to like do much to prove her worth, to prove her, her value to a situation. But she does have to do something. But what I would say here is I feel like you bring a lot to the table, like I said, in multiple areas of your life. And it's kind of, I get this like don't settle kind of energy. So there you go. I hope that makes sense. Next, if I can get these cards for your next thing, you have this Freedom card. It says casual, being single, lightness. You have this envelope. It says unfolding surprise on it. So I do feel like some of you are kind of like in that freedom loving singlehood type of energy. You have the Nine of Pentacles here, right? But maybe some of you are starting to get communication from people. You have the Page of Swords. The Ace of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, which could definitely be communication from a person in love if you want love. It also could be something, I do kind of feel like there is something that's actually going to take away a little bit of your freedom. And before you worry, I don't think this is something scary. I think that for some of you, there could be like a job offer. I'm also getting something like, it's funny how you have this Three of Pentacles. We're doing, quarter two, which is 3 months. And, it's very interesting. I kind of get like maybe some of you get like a contract, or, maybe your boss is like, hey, we want you to go to the North Pole to set up a new office for like 3 months or something like that. I don't know. There just seems to be something where you could get an opportunity. Maybe it takes 3 months. Maybe it takes 6 months. Doesn't really matter. And, I feel there could be like a short-term kind of contract coming in for you here. This obviously isn't going to be true for all of you, but definitely for some of you. And I feel like it's going to be totally worth it. So even if it's like one of those things where for a short period of time, maybe you have to make some sacrifices, I think it's going to really, really be worth it. And so if you get one of those opportunities, I would take it. I would also say here that I do feel that you are more focused on quality experiences. You have the Empress here. Empress could be Taurus, and we have Uranus and Taurus. With Uranus and Taurus, I think it's true for most people are going to be like very focused on kind of entering into situations that are more quality over quantity. You have the Ace of Swords here. Again, the Ace of Swords is like a victory. It is also the truth. So, what I would say here is that I feel, don't communicate with anyone's ex. If they slide into your DMs or say something, or it could just be a person who's like causing drama or causing problems and things like that as well. It's like, I had a person on this channel years ago, I'll just tell you because it was like years ago now, who was like a crazy person sending my parents letters and like all this other stuff. And they messaged a person that I dated, which was like a whole crazy ass situation in the first place. So it's like, you never know. It happened to me. So I would just be careful here with this Ace of Swords energy, right? Because you never know. It could just be a crazy-ass person that is messaging someone. So that's why it's here. I would also maybe keep things, more secretive, right? Ever since it happened to me, I started keeping things like way more secret, way more private, just because, I don't know, we live in interesting times. Let's put it that way. I also feel that the Ace of Swords can represent a sacrifice. You can see here that there's this palm frond on this side, and there's an olive branch on the other. The palm fronds in the tarot can represent a sacrifice. The olive branch can represent an offer of peace, but of course it can also represent like abundance. And so sometimes, again, this is where I was getting more of that message of maybe you need to make like a small sacrifice of time, or, maybe you have to do something for like 3 months, like a contract or whatever. That's how it was popping into my head. I think it's totally worth it, so I would do it. You also have the Page of Pentacles. I do feel there's like a new person coming in for you here. So if you want new love, I feel this could be a new love. This could also be you communicating with a person as well. So like I said, I feel like there could be communication. On top of that, what I would say is any educational opportunities that come in for you, I would be jumping on those educational opportunities. This could be like a boss who wants to send you to training. It could be you getting a certification for your job or for your career. It could be about anything. But if you get any educational opportunities, I don't know what's popping into my head, I think they would be super abundant for you. Kind of makes sense. We have Pluto leaving Capricorn. Capricorn's your opposite sign, and it's going into Aquarius. It will in this quarter, it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn. And, Capricorn, according to Chris's crappy astrology, has a lot to do with education. And since it's your opposite sign, again, to me, I feel like there could be something about work going on here. It's popping into my head as work or career. But again, even if you're retired, you could still be, working on something like a project at home or something like that. And so I think any educational opportunities, no matter how big or small they are, you might not, again, I get this energy of maybe in the moment, you don't see how valuable it could be. But I think if you do it, it's going to be super valuable. So, I would do it. Next, you have this regeneration card. So I do feel you could be spending this quarter kind of regenerating. Again, you have the Empress, and the Empress is kind of a little bit of a regeneration type of card. She kind of represents healing and resting, relaxing, taking care of yourself, and, all that other good stuff. So I do feel that would be a good idea for you. You have the Five of Swords, the Magician, and the Queen of Wands. The Five of Swords, by the way, going this way, this could be some sort of new beginning, but the Five of Swords, I feel, could be about taking a risk, taking a risk on a new beginning. So I feel it would be worth it in love. I also feel that for some of you, that this could be, I kind of feel like it's saying pick and choose your battles, really. There's something here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm also not gonna say that I really understand the message. I think that I don't trust any reader that claims to know everything. I don't think we're meant to know everything here. There's something here kind of about picking and choosing a battle. Could be in work, could be in business. It might. Sometimes I think these messages also, they might just be something that you have to think about. It might just be the universe being like, maybe you live with a person and it's like, do you really need to get into a fight with this person over how they do the dishes? If as long as the dishes are getting done, probably not. I kind of get that feeling here. It's such a weird message. where it's kind of like saying, there might be some things that seem like a big deal that just aren't. And if you turn them into a big deal, it's almost as if you will just be wasting your energy. So I would be very careful of that with the Five of Swords. You have the Magician here, so there could be some sort of new beginning. I always pull the card that the Magician is pointing to, and I think he's pointing to this card right here, which I can't even get off there. So you have this island card. It says find strength in solitude. Where wasn't one of these other cards basically saying the same thing? You have the freedom card, casual, being single, lightness. So again, there could be a lot of kind of answers that could come in for you in solitude. This could also say that if you're going through a breakup, that what you need is a reinvention. He has a snake wrapped around his waist, and that is the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. Sometimes I think we get out of a relationship, rush right into the next one, but we don't give ourselves that time to heal, number one, but number two, to kind of like change, to see what the past person maybe we didn't like, and maybe we have to raise our vibration to find a better person, or maybe we have to, make some sort of change to attract the type of person that we actually want. And I kind of feel like the Magician is saying, like, don't, it might be a good quarter to work on those things, to kind of, have your glow up here, Cancer. I wouldn't really call this I kind of would, actually, because you have the Empress and the Sun. It kind of is a glow up reading, but I feel it's more, I would say this is something that you're working on. It's not like you're just having a glow up. I feel this is something that you are kind of actively putting energy into. You're actively putting the energy into creating a glow up, or into creating a happier energy, or whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. I'm a big fan of doing that here, Cancer. I feel like you're very attractive at this time as well. But this is a really good reading. Definitely going in the right direction. Much better, I would say, than the first quarter, for sure. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your quarter.